What is up, guys? Frosty here, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about Ghost Recon Wildlands. I'm sitting here, I'm comfortable, I'm in my chair, I got my hot chocolate, I'm ready for you guys. So, I want to talk really quickly. This is a Ubisoft title. This is a game that came out in E3 looking relatively okay, but it was horribly scripted, not only in the gameplay, but also in the dialogue that the players were saying that was super unrealistic. So I came into this game looking into the beta, being like, hey, this is a free beta, free download, the download's not that big. Let's just fucking play it for a day and see what we think about it. So me and someone sat down, we played it, and we were super skeptical and literally tore it apart in the first half an hour that we played. We're like, the collision detection is shit. You know, it's like impossible to get from one place to another if you're on a land vehicle. It's just super dumb. And all of these sort of things, and we're just like really making fun of it. And I was like, personally, I was like action heroing at the beginning, just playing like I was Matt Damon and shit like that, running through the level. And that's when things started to turn a little bit. People started getting shot. We were starting to get punished for it. People started getting away. The game became harder. The reinforcements came, and the reinforcements actually kind of mattered a little bit. I got myself killed. You know, all these sort of things. So then the game kind of like was like, whoa, buddy, we're not that bad. Just give us a chance. So we continued playing, and fortunately, it didn't have all the negatives that I thought it would have. Going across the negatives right now, you know, I definitely thought that the collision detection of driving was terrible. The driving was a little bit clumsy. The nice details of the game that made it realistic kind of were more frustrating than if they were just not implemented at all. Like someone coming out of the side of the car to start shooting made the car weighted towards the one side, so you could actually feel the weight of the person, which is a nice change to normal shooters in normal environments like that. Like, that's cool realism, but I would find that because the driving was already a little bit cumbersome for me playing on a keyboard and mouse, that yeah, it made it even more clunky and hard to drive. Once we found a helicopter, we were flying around and we were just playing based off aerial units. And once we found even a Humvee, a Hummer with a machine gun on the top, yeah, you know, the game actually became really fun. On top of that, once we started to get into the immersive environment of it and starting to play a little bit more tactical and stop playing a little bit more goofy and started to take the game a little bit more serious, it actually surprised us. It was quite fun. A couple of other negatives is that there was no jump button, so there's some things that I needed to jump over, which I couldn't. Because the game didn't think that I needed to vault over it, which is a feature in the game to cover the jump feature. Also, a couple of other things. The game didn't really explain much to us, and sometimes when I needed to press a certain button, it would launch something else because they shared the same button. Super rare. I think that's only in tutorial modes and stuff like that, but yeah, that was a problem. Also, I feel as though, you know, the game could have made it a little bit better with the stealth function. If you're in an open environment, a guy can see for like a mile, and that's definitely something that you need to be careful of. And another problem is that the rendering of the game that we had, at least, it would only cover about maybe 800 meters or just over 800 meters in game. And the sniper rifle with drop and being able to use the scope to measure how much drop would happen could shoot way further than that. But because it went outside the rendering distance, it no longer applied. So it was kind of disappointing having a sniper rifle able to shoot so far, just not render and not be able to shoot targets that far. Otherwise, it was actually a really good experience, and it actually made me consider buying this. Like, this is actually a game that provides you a unique FPS experience with a friend that isn't, you know, GTA, that isn't H1Z1 or anything else like that. And it kind of like allowed me to feel a little bit better about less goofy, crazy, over-the-top experiences like GTA and an FPS experience with my friends. and being able to communicate with, okay, I'm going to shoot the guy on the right, you shoot the guy on the left. Okay, there's 3 people, so we're going to actually have to do a burst shot on 2 people at the same time, so I'm going to do these 2. And, being able to communicate like that and play like that and watching it be executed relatively well, even, was great, and it was a great feeling. There was even a moment where I got a grenade launcher attachment, and we were on a mountaintop, and I said, okay, Sean, you're in charge of the left 3, I got the entire group on the right side. And he said, okay. So he burst shotted the 3 as they, realized what was going on, as I shot a grenade launcher into the truck beside the other group that rolled over them and killed them. So it was really, really cool because you're able to use drones and other things to survey the area and kind of be able to understand how the game is working and how the level is made and what environment it is and what you need to do in it. And so you have all that information that you realistically have gathered, and now you can execute the level in your way. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to put a C4 charge here. I'm going to have you aim at this target, and then I'm going to come in from this side, and we're going to go at the same time. 1, 2, 3, go. Boom. Okay, cool. And if you fuck up, if civilians get killed, you get punished for it and possibly game over. If terrorists or narcos end up realizing that you're around, they might start killing civilians to draw you out. And if too many civilians die, we're told that it's game over. So that starts punishing you and making you feel the pressure that someone in that environment might have, at least in the the fantasy. Like you're a couple of tactical operators trying to take out a target or get to a target safely and try and take out these people, but they're going to be able to use resources to try and pressure you guys into having to try and make sure that you're not morally ambiguous, really. So all in all, definitely a good game. I would give it a 7 out of 10 if the game comes out exactly how it is in beta. There were a couple of game crashes I was experiencing. Some of us did not experience any of these crashes, but I definitely feel as though that is an easy fix. It was just based off of an installation replay error, which isn't too surprising. If the game is a little bit more polished, either on release or just shortly after release, I'd probably actually give this game an 8 to 8.5 out of 10. This game has a lot of potential, and also DLC would be great to have more areas, more things to do, maybe new storylines, stuff like that is really easy to add, because even just the supply drops and stuff that you have in this game, where you just go to a place that got populated by an enemy again and you have to raid it, is enough of an immersive experience and fun and satisfying experience that you can just keep doing that over and over and over again. And so if they find unique ways of making the confrontations still interesting so then they don't grow old, whether it's through DLC or randomly spawning content and stuff like that we didn't really get, then this game is definitely going to be an 8 to an 8.5 out of 10 in my books, as if you're playing with other people. If you're playing solo, or if you have some ramp up that you have to do to try and get to the level of the open beta, to get the guns, the silencers, maybe you can't access aerial vehicles until later, they hide them away and they're less common, any of these sort of things, and the beta was just kind of giving you all these things willy-nilly to try and hopefully buy your interest and buy your money, then I'm going to probably give it a 6.5 out of 10, because this is a game that's heavily dependent on friends, and this experience in particular that we got from the open beta to be good. And if they're trying to ramp up the game, then it's a hollow experience until you get to that point anyway. So it's definitely a game that has potential to be an amazing game, that is already a good game, and could potentially be a mediocre game based off of how they go about the actual sale of the game. So that's my input, and that's how I'm going to be doing my rating. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Be sure to comment your own opinions as well. If you guys want to share some funny moments, definitely share them with me as well. And I'm going to be putting some gameplay footage of this game from the beta onto YouTube so then you guys can watch for yourselves until we possibly buy the game and choose to buy the game ourselves and play the actual experience. And I will probably give you guys a small update on whether or not there are significant changes from the beta experience as well, if I do get it. So no promises, guys. We're still deciding what sort of games that we want to buy right now, and I did get a couple of extra games recently. So that's all for today, guys, and I'll see you all later.